interweaves. It's like mixed media with poetry over it, and I wanted to dive deeper into where that inspiration came from. So I'm gonna go ahead and request Death. Peace.
Yo, what up, what
What's
up, what up,
up?
what up? I'm so good.
You
How are
good?
you?
I'm great.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Um,
great.
it's been really fun to watch this. The cooking show before.
Yeah.
What's crazy is I was raised vegan.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. That
Like from
that
the
was
birth?
my yeah, from birth. That's what
Wow.
my mom was like, we gonna be different.
Wow, that's so dope.
Yeah. And so that was like her love language.
Mm.
That was her thing, was like making meals for folks from scratch. uh, Making cashew cheese was just normal,
Wow.
like, all the way. So yeah, that was kind of how I grew up. And a really crazy story is she went. Have you been to Stuff I Eat on Market Street?
Yes.
Okay, so a really crazy story is she went there before I did. And she hates everybody's food. She'll send it back. Like, like if I can make it, I'm not with it.
I
Um,
feel her. I feel
you
that.
know
Hmm.
and so she went there before me, and then she told me about it, and I was like, yeah, ma, I get to it, whatever. But then a crazy thing is, like, I don't know if you know Brooke DeLoe.
I don't think so.
Okay, Brooke DeLoe, producer from J Davy. um
Okay.
when I first met him, and the first time I ever sessioned with him, like, I went there, like, I went to meet him, and he actually was like, are you hungry? And then he walked down the stairs when he was living above Stuff I Eat. We walk into Stuff I Eat, this
Wow.
place that my mom had told me to go.
Wow.
And his family owns and runs it.
What? For real?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fire.
Brooke's dad. Yeah.
I love it there.
So
I've eaten there one time. It was fire. I got a soul food.
what did you get?
Soul food, like a soul food plate.
That's the one. The
That's
soul food
the one
platter and the nacho platter. Get the family size. Don't cheat yourself.
that
Treat yourself.
That's so dope. Yeah, I saw someone say, yeah, we need more mamas like yours. I feel that. That's
Bless.
amazing that you were raised vegan. That's so dope. So
Yeah.
dope.
We used to drive 45 minutes to get to any kind of, like, organic produce, like, growing up in South Central food desert. But, I just still applaud her and so thankful. Always, always, always.
Yes, yes, yes. So this piece that you shared, I'm
Yeah.
gonna play one of the clips that you sent me.
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about it because, I mean, you're an amazing lyricist and writer. And then when
Thank
I
you.
saw this video and the way that you paired very, current feeling things with the message that you were expressing, really beautiful. So I'm going to pull that up.
Definitely.
Um, and I'm going to pull y'all close so that you can experience it better. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. No, the volume got to be all the way. All right, here we go.
Exploring your black, exploiting your boy, exploring your black. You are world star made of stardust. You are black star. Colonialism was a startup far from ignorant. Ignorance is a warm rock. Let that sword talk, cause the violence must be repeated.
I'm stressed the fuck out. Leave me the fuck alone. No one else came out here talking shit. No, I'm fixing it myself. I'm stressed the fuck out. Leave me alone. Humans get stressed out.
It's upsetting me and my homegirl because we feel like, well, damn, if you can't go to Bellanoche, what the hell could you go?
You don't have to be able to swim to be a vessel. And you don't have to see a lynching to be its echo. Black skin has no innocence. Black boy, you are an instrument. Injustice on repeat. Listen to your stereotype. Exploiting your boy.
Yes, okay. I was about to let it run again, but
Thank you.
yes.
I just want to thank you so much. You make things and you don't know how they're going to resonate, and I hate that piece is still so relevant.
I feel that way. I just recorded a live performance for Africa Day tomorrow. That the program that the Roots is having, and I said the same thing about Heatwave when I performed it. I was like, I really hate that this is relevant still. I wrote this song almost 5 years ago now, and it feels that same as far as relevancy goes. So, but what was your inspiration behind this piece?
Initially, so I wrote the poem before I created the visual piece. So when I wrote the poem, I was in Chinatown one night, and it was like a Chinatown Summer Nights event or that. When I wrote that piece, I was out and about, and I saw these two black boys running, and my heart jumped, and I was like, why did my heart jump? Why did I feel like they were in danger just for running? Like, that feels really specific. And so the first thing that I wrote down, like, was right on my phone right there as I watched, like, they were running to see a performance, and then they ran after, and I felt my heart stop both times. And I was like, this is a visceral feeling that I have. That so the first thing I wrote was, black boy, don't run. Don't you know you are black? Don't you know you are a boy? You know, don't you know that, you know, your skin is a car alarm set on to permanent. And that for me was like, wait, like, these are a different set of rules. This is a different paradigm that we live in.
Right.
And why is this? And then it kind of felt like I was giving advice to my past self, and maybe like the future people that have to exist, and why do we have to have these talks? And so I just dived in, and in that moment I just kept writing, and I couldn't stop writing. Like, the poem was writing me at that point. And when I felt done, then maybe like a year later, I started the piece, and it was because I'm studying African American studies at UCI right now, and so we're doing that on Zoom. That's a crazy thing. Still during quarantine, and so I'm studying at UCI right now, and one of my assignments for the final was to create something that felt like the culmination of all of our readings. And we were reading Sadia Hartman, we were reading Adrian Piper, we were reading Toni Morrison, we were getting into everything, Angela Davis. And so I created this collage made out of things that were happening right at this time. So it was like that video of the dude I'm stressed out, I'm human.
Yes.
I'm stressed out. Like, humans get stressed out.
Yes.
That was from my friend Novina's story. I recorded it. And I was like, I'm going to just make a collage of what's happening, you know, like, and thinking about that little portion that everybody's like, oh, that's really funny. Like, oh, if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can you go? Like, it's very funny, but as Black people, where the hell can we go?
Right.
If we can't go to Bella Noche's, then where the hell can we go?
Right. And that's what I love, is that juxtaposition, because I feel like a lot of times, you know, content of Black people is considered entertaining no matter what, almost. Like, no matter what the situation or circumstance is, it becomes like this viral moment. And then the actual root, like what he was saying was the root of it. It's like, I'm human too. Like, I'm frustrated. You're watching a human moment of a human person. But a lot of times those things get turned into like catchphrases and moments. Right. Then they disappear, you know? Right. Making way for the next one. And it's like a cycle.
Exactly. And all of those were, I made the piece on my iPhone 8, like in the iMovie. So I just took everything, and then I took that and put you know, the music to it or the sound. And the music I chose was by a composer named Duval Timothy.
Mhm.
Really dope cat. And if you listen closely, it says no. So it's like this, it's like no, no. And so it's like using that as like this refusal to just be viewed and consumed without being seen as human. So for me, this is like us saying no to just looking and consuming me. Now you have to hear me. You have to see that I'm human. And
Mhm.
that's kind of, you know, the process of just
Yeah.
thinking about that one.
Yes. Thank you so much
Thank
for the
you.
info you just shared, like, and for this piece. So is this piece out? Can people watch this piece?
No, but
No.
what should I do? Because, all right.
Drop it.
You know
Nah.
what I mean? Like, no, like, because we make stuff all the time, right? As artists.
Yeah.
But how do we put things out? I think I'm rediscovering this in quarantine. How do we share?
Yes.
Uh, and so I feel like peer to peer is a thing, but I don't know how I want to platform it.
Yeah.
And I know I should
Yeah.
platform it, but I've been thinking, Mocha, that's funny for sure. I'm down, you know. Hit
Yeah.
me with that residency money.
Right.
So I'm ready to show it and share it. And IGTV just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like I'm reevaluating. I don't know if you are, but I'm reevaluating what I think support is and what support looks like for me.
Yes.
And so I started a Patreon.
Mhm.
And what's really crazy about that is when I started the Patreon, when I went to it, I was like, oh shit, I already had a login.
Wow.
Like, that meant I wanted to do this already.
Right.
And I just feel like we have more value than these platforms are allowing us to elevate. And that's why I'm so happy. I'm
Absolutely.
so happy that you're doing this.
Mm.
Like, I'm so happy that you're like, I'm gonna use my platform to elevate. And that to me is horizontal leadership, is what I call it.
Mm.
We all here at eye level.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so that's real.
That's what I mean, that's what it's always been for me. Like I feel like my whole life I've wanted to be a part of a community of people who, you know, want things to change. I mean, things have
Yeah.
needed to change my whole life. So,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like the more that I grow in my different things that I'm doing, it only feels right to, you know, surround myself with that same community and that same feeling, that same sentiment that I've always um, kind of placed the most importance on. And I
Yeah.
understand, you know, certain artists don't feel that way necessarily. You know, maybe they're on a different path or they're looking for something other than that feeling. But for me, I feel like I'm just a community member. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And one thing that I know from being that for so long is that there's genius, important, necessary things happening every single day in the community. And if you kind of believe that the system is flawed, then you have to also be able to imagine that a lot of things that you're supposed to be seeing and exposed to, you're not going to get exposed to because of that system that you understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to just remain rooted in that and removed from anything else that doesn't feel like what that is. You know what I mean?
What does not resonate?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel blessed that I can do that in any capacity and just share people's work and spread it around because I feel you like these platforms are not really um, compensating the genius that is placed unto them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to use it as a way to connect so that we can go somewhere else
Exactly.
sometime
Exactly.
soon, you know, and really be valued and spread real information between one another.
Absolutely. Because that's what we're really here to do. And
Yeah.
that's why it's like you don't have to see a lynching to live as its echo. Is like that's, and to have the understanding that our spreading of the story
Yes.
is what keeps this going. And that's what creates the change. Like
Yes.
you have it in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's embedded.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like Annabelle McGinnis says, honoring at eye level. And I think that there is this, I think what I really love about what you're doing is you are fashioning your own form of community digitally.
Mm.
And I love the fabrics you've chosen. That's how I even knew to submit, was I loved what you already were putting up in platforming.
Mm.
So I'm
That's
just
just
really
the start of
thankful.
it. Um there's so much amazing stuff that I've seen, and it's just showing me that, like, and I can't, I'm just one person, like I said, so it's gonna have to be a community effort. But I feel like it is showing me that people are on a similar page right now. You know what I mean? And a lot
Yeah,
of people are searching
yeah,
for a place to put that energy. You know, so
yeah.
so
We're
thank you for your
we're
kind.
living libraries.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I love
1000%.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and for this conversation.
Bless.
And for this piece.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see how you decide to share it.
Absolutely. I'll share it tomorrow.
Okay, there you go. There we go.
Peace.
All
Thank you
right,
so
peace.
much.
Thank you, Des.
Bless.
Okay, amazing. Been, I've been really inspired, and we have a few more guests, and we are running behind, and that's just kind of what happens when you start to have deep ass conversations sometimes. But my next guest, let's make sure that she's in here. What inspired me to write Sandstorm? Love Lost. Let's see. Here she is. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my next guest, and I'm gonna have her read some poetry for us. So.